Well, hello and welcome to episode 30 of Tui Snider's Show and Tell. This is a streaming show where I interview a variety of experts about all sorts of things, everything from cemetery symbols, forgotten history, folklore, the paranormal, quirky travel, UFOs, maybe even Bigfoot. Basically, everything and all those offbeat and overlooked people, places, and things that tickle my fancy. And as I say every week, I have a very ticklish fancy. Now, in case you're new here, I am Tui Snider. I write books, I give talks, I do a lot of research, but I want to take a peek here and see who is here. Looks like people are just slowly trickling in. Oh, haha, love the hats. Yes, Scott, there is a story behind the hats. We'll be explaining that when I bring our guest on this week. And as you can see, you guys, my guest this week is my friend, Patricia Josephine. And I just call her Patty most of the time. But we shall see here. Now, I one thing that's interesting that I have in common with last week's guest and this week's guest is that we both met on Twitter. I just thought I'd point that out. That's kind of an interesting thing. But I will be bringing her on shortly. The one of the first things I want to do is tell you that I am going to also be announcing the winners from last week. So last week we had, if you commented on the YouTube video, you were entered to win, as they say, a couple of books that David was giving out. And so just in a little bit, I will be telling you guys who the winners are. First off, I want to tell you about a new project that I have underway. Oh, hi. Hey, Debbie's here from Canada. She's saying hello to me and Patty. As always, when I wave, it's off camera on here on StreamYard. So glad you could make it. All right, so I have this new little project happening here where it is photo essays, and I'm calling them road trip postcards. And people are trickling in here. We got Nicole. Howdy, howdy. And so, as you guys know, I was gone for a couple of weeks on a road trip. We hit some really wonderful stretches of back roads, hardly saw anybody in some of the places we went. And then we stopped at a lot of kind of goofy roadside attractions, as you can see. I really loved this big microphone. That was a lot of fun. And we saw all sorts of interesting, quirky roadside attractions. We also experienced some really glorious nature. Here I am swimming in San Solomon Springs down in Balmaray. That was magical. There were fish and turtles in that water. Really fun. And of course, I saw some wonderful historic cemeteries. And I really liked, yeah, here we go. Oh, yeah, and some interesting symbolisms. 33-degree Mason, not something you see every day. So it was kind of cool to see it in the middle of a, middle of nowhere, basically, country cemetery. And this was a really fun gate to go through at Pioneer Cemetery. We went to a lot of places called Pioneer Cemetery, but different places. And when we got home, the cat had to scold me a little bit for being gone. But what I'm doing now is I am releasing a new chapter each week, every Wednesday, on my Patreon. And some of them are available free to the public. Some of them, if you want to read all of them, you can support me for as little as $1 a month there. But you can check that out if you're curious. I do have some that you can read right now. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It just kind of got the idea from this because I was sharing a lot of pictures as we went, and people kept asking me questions. And a few people asked me, are you going to write more about this? We want to know more about the photos you posted rather than just, as we scroll by on Facebook, are you going to do like photo essays? So I decided to do that. All right, as you guys know, every week I have a special fake sponsor for my show. And since my guest today, her latest book has zombies featured prominently in it, it is a zombie book. I thought that this would be a good sponsor. La Notte dei Morti Viventi, which is this is an Italian poster for Night of the Living Dead, but I thought it was a really cool composition. I like that poster a lot. Very creepy and interesting. I don't know, makes the movie look quite good. Of course, the real supporters of my creativity and all my weird, quirky creative endeavors are my Patreon supporters, who include Pete, Envy, Julie, Ghost Cat, Bob, Connie, Eva, Ian, Sarah, Mikhail, Naomi, Margaret, Hugh, Anne, Jessica, Jay, Rachel, Angel, Ken, Patty, Veronica, Joe, Donna, and the other Tui, who is absolutely no relation to me, and I just think that's really fun. Who else do we have here right now? I see we have Crafty Cowgirl. Well, yeehaw! Nice to see you. Thanks for coming. Okay, I guess I will announce who won. You might be curious, because last week when I had my buddy David on the show, it just said he would pick a couple people from commenters on the my YouTube show, and they would win a book from him. And I know that some of you are in Europe, so we decided that if anyone overseas won a book, he would send them an ebook instead. So here are the winners. I don't know if they're here today. You don't have to be present to win. I will find you guys. I will hunt you down. I'll give you your gift, your prize. So here is one of the winners, is Bill B. Snapshot, who is a newbie to the show, and he just kind of randomly found us last week. He was actually doing a Google search trying to find David Kravitz's books and somehow stumbled into our YouTube show. I think he's even a subscriber now to the channel, which is neat. So Bill, if you are out there, whether you're watching live or you're catching this replay, just know that I'm going to be contacting you so that you can, David can send you one of his books. He wrote this really amazing road trip book, epic family road trip across America. Lots of photos in it too. And he commented, one of the best road trips we have done was starting in Wisconsin to Black Hills, Yellowstone, Reno, Virginia City to Las Vegas, then Grand Canyon, and then back to Wisconsin. That does sound like a really amazing road trip, I've got to say. He goes 12 days, and it was a great time. We love the road trips. Part of the fun is planning process and mapping out the way. I totally agree that the planning is part of the fun. I actually kind of think of planning a road trip as another form of travel. Like, I have planned trips that, for whatever reason, I didn't get to take, and I still feel like I went on a journey and I enjoyed it. So, hey, we have another person saying howdy to us. Hi, Danielle Williams. Hey, thanks for coming. Nice to see you here. Thank you, thank you. Now, the other person who won is Nitty Girl. Nitty Girl won. And she commented the other day that one of my favorite road trips was the scenic route from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Santa Fe. There weren't many stops, but the scenery was surreal and beautiful. All of New Mexico is stunning and different in many ways. I totally agree. And I did reply that whole, you know how the state of New Mexico, their motto is Land of Enchantment, or nickname, whatever you want to say, state nickname. It's really it's not just a cheesy phrase. New Mexico has a lot of dramatic and, I would say, enchanting landscapes. It's very beautiful. Says riding to Roswell was incredibly flat. Yeah, that area is really flat, and had so many towns, air quotes. They were no more than just a gas station and a convenience store. Miles and miles of flatness, and nothing is crazy. Yeah, I agree. We even saw thunderstorms coming from miles ahead. So you are the other lucky winner, Nitty Girl. I'm going to be contacting you and Bill and letting you know and passing your snail mails along to David so he can send you his fabulous book. And after you read his fabulous book, be sure to give it a review on Amazon. All right, before I bring on our guest, I want to remind everybody, if you're here now and you're enjoying the video, hey, why don't you just take a second to click that thumbs up button. Just smash that like button for me. Give me a little love. It is so funny because I think it was last week, there were like 30 views in the first hour, and I think I got 2 likes. So if you're here, hopefully you're not torturing yourself by listening to me. Hopefully you do, in fact, like this. So that's my little reminder there, and my plea for likes. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Patty. As I mentioned earlier, I met her on Twitter, just as I met David on Twitter, maybe over 10 years ago, which I just think is so funny. And she is one of those people who I've known for so long on the internet that I feel like I've met her in person. And it is just so funny to me to realize that we actually haven't hung out in real life. It doesn't matter. I have actually gotten the chance to hang out with David a couple times in real life, but it is just so funny how that is. I'm sure some of you have friendships like that as well. Oh, let me see. There's a couple more comments here. Oh, Debbie's saying, congratulations to all the winners. Yeah, well, you're all winners in my book. And then Nicole, well, thumbs up, thumbs up. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. Now I feel good. I got lots of thumbs up. I needed those, bolster my self-esteem. Okay, so I have an official bio for Patty. I'm just going to go ahead and read that now. Patricia never set out to become a writer. And in fact, she never considered it an option during high school and college. She was more of an art and band geek. Some stories are meant to be told, though, and now she can't stop writing. Patricia lives with her husband in Michigan, hopes one day to have what will resemble a small petting zoo. That's a worthy goal. And she has a fondness for dyeing her hair the colors of the rainbow. I can attest to this. I have seen it different colors over the years. All right, well, without any further ado, let me bring on Patty. If I click the right button, it will indeed work. Hey there.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, good, good. I think now, though, that before we forget, why don't you tell them why we have matching hats?
Because I made them.
Yes. Patty makes incredible hats. And, it doesn't get hot here. I mean, hot here. It doesn't get cold here in North Texas nearly enough for my liking. But when it does, I immediately put a hat on. And what I love about Patty's hats is a lot of hats, I don't want to say wool, but a lot of hats that people make, winter hats that I have, they're itchy. And our bedroom gets really cold at night. And there were times I slept with this hat on several times because it is like it's a perfect sleep hat. As well as I get very excited when it's finally cold enough for me to wear a hat. But yes, I am wearing it today because you guys, she makes really cute hats. I bought them for a couple people. You can, you just tell them your head size. You tell Patty your head size, and she will knit a hat but yeah, yours is very cute. And you have more variety, I think, too, right? You have rounded ears and different, I think.
Yeah, I got foxes and wolves and dinosaurs. I even did a unicorn for someone once.
Oh, you did a unicorn?
Yeah. The horn was definitely a challenge to knit.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Looks like one of your besties showed up. There's my bestie.
Both of my besties are here. They're they're pretty much obligated. Crafty Cowgirl, I've known her for 35 years, and the other one for 30. So it's like some things it's just like we're mandatory for stuff we do for each other. And I was like, y'all gotta be here for this.
Well, definitely. I think that is totally mandatory.
Yeah.
How funny. Oh, that is funny. What else do we have here? Nicole, any relation? Oh, Nicole. Someone's asking. Nicole Perone is here, and Scott is asking if she's any relation to Andrea Perone. Let's see. She says, I get asked that a lot. Absolutely not. Oh, you could. Yeah. Wow. All right. Interesting. Okay. All right. So, you guys. Oh, now, are you selling these? You had an online shop for a while. Do you have if someone wanted to buy one of these hats, could they still do that? Or
they could still do that. I don't have a store yet. I'm kind of working on it. I have a friend who does photography, so I want to do like a little winter photo shoot, but obviously I gotta wait until the snow comes.
Oh,
I would like to get an Etsy shop or some sort of shop up and going so people can buy them online. Because right now I'm just relying on local stuff.
Yeah, because you just had you were just at My Paracon, right?
Yep.
Is that how they say it? My Paracon?
I say MI Paracon.
Oh, MI Paracon. Oh, okay. All right. Well, somehow I'm either pronouncing it wrong or something, but basically it's a Michigan Paracon, and it's in your town.
Yes, and it's like one of the biggest ones in Michigan.
Yeah, and your town is Sault Ste. Marie?
Yep. Good job. You said that right.
I know. I see it written so much, something like, oh, you know how, and then you were saying it out loud. It's like, I got to say this right. Yeah. And you actually, Andrea Perone was just there.
Yeah, she's actually been a regular the past few years at them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And you were telling me before the show kind of a funny story
Yeah,
about meeting
yeah.
you met her.
Yeah, like, well, I've gotten to meet her a few times and say hello and
Mm-hmm.
talk to her, but one year when Danielle and I were attendees, she she recently got into aliens and stuff like that. And there was something about like she could call some extraterrestrial thing. I can't remember the exact details, but like with her voice, and she was
Wow.
going to go outside in the evening and do it, and everybody could come and watch this phenomenon. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. And Danielle had to go home, but I was like, okay, I'll tell you all about it. So at like 10 o'clock at night, I went to the casino where they have the convention, and I'm walking around outside trying to find where this gathering is for this alien thing. And sadly, I didn't find it.
I know, I was saying, yeah,
But
I guess it's not exactly the kind of thing you just want to go up to a
yeah, it
person and
didn't
go, hey,
really.
so where are they calling the aliens? Yeah, they're going to be like, yeah,
Well, given that it was during a
Well,
paranormal
that's true.
convention, people might have been like, oh, yeah, just over there in that parking lot, all the
Yeah, that's
crazies
true.
are gathered.
Yeah, all the tinfoil hat people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what if you could make an alien hat? I guess they don't really have much in the way of ears.
I think it'd have to be like a little stalk with like a bubble on the end.
Oh
I think
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
I
A
would
little
do.
bubble. Oh yeah, or even
Yeah.
bubble eyes or something. Oh, but,
Yeah.
but antennas, maybe green would be good.
Hmm.
Yeah. Tinfoil line. No, not tinfoil line. That would be uncomfortable. Yeah. And everybody, you guys, if you don't follow Paranormal Gateway Paratalk, y'all ought to do it because we were just talking about Andrea Perone, and he just had her on his show this past Sunday. I have not, I have it on my to listen to replay list. So I'm really excited about that because she's so interesting. And, I'm not surprised to hear that she uses her voice to call aliens. I mean, I guess because I think she's quite a singer. Like she's got a really good voice, but I don't know, a musician.
Yeah, like I
Certainly
said,
an interesting person.
I can't remember the exact details of what it was, but it was something about kind of calling down this thing, this
Wow.
extraterrestrial thing, and I was really looking forward to witnessing it.
No kidding. Oh well.
Maybe next year when she comes back, she'll do it again or something.
Yeah, I want to ask about that. All right. Well, now I'm going to bring up a picture that you sent me. Since your besties are here, I think you can tell me about this.
Yep. They commissioned this cake for me when my first book released, and we had a good laugh because if you didn't know I released a book called Being Human, you would have thought my best friends are congratulating me on the most basic thing a person can do, which is being a human.
I know. I was like, that is so funny. I wonder what they were thinking when people were decorating this cake. If they were like, what was she a mutant? And now she's, done mutating. You're totally
I was really one of those reptiles that the conspiracy theorists say are secretly taking over the world.
Yeah, one of those shape-shifting reptiles, or could it be like a Pinocchio scenario where you get someone's toy that's now you're truly a real human girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is funny though. I love that. You're bringing back some memories here. The cake.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we had a nice bonfire and get together for that celebration.
Oh, nice. Oh, bonfire sounds good. Hey, you were mentioning that you wouldn't do your photo shoot until you got your first snow. You are up in, for the viewers who don't know, she is up in Michigan. About what time of year do you get your first snow?
Let's see. It can vary. Haha, Sarah. Yeah, it can be like lately the past few years it's honestly been kind of showing up later and later. It seems it used to be we get like snow in November and stuff like that, and now it's kind of getting pushed back into December. We'll get snow in November, but then it'll melt. So I don't know if it's a global warming thing or what, but it's definitely not as predictable as it used to be. Like I remember as a little kid making a snowman in October.
Yeah.
So yeah, we haven't had that in a long time.
All right. Well, I'm asking because hopefully people are going to be able to purchase your hats before Christmas. So
yeah, I might just I have a display head for craft shows and stuff, so I might get just a plain background and just put those up as like a placeholder. And then when it snows, do the proper photo shoot and have real. And eventually,
that's a good idea because people need your hats now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now here's another photo. This is such a cute photo. I love this. Tell us about hell.
Well, I guess most people don't know hell is real, and it is in Michigan. It's in Lower Michigan, actually.
Oh, okay.
Paradise is in Michigan too, and that's in Upper Michigan.
So the whole mitten thing with oh, here it is. So like this is the whole mitten. All right. This is where you.
This would be Lower Michigan, and this is basically Upper Michigan.
Oh,
and that's how people from Michigan be like, yeah, I live right here or here. For me, it's right here. And yeah, and hell, I think, is right about here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if anybody says when hell freezes over, you can tell, well, actually, it does every year.
Yeah. Probably starting in November.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Now, with the hell, I really wonder, maybe you don't know this because you're not as into cemeteries as me, but is there a hell cemetery? Because, man, that would be great.
I don't remember seeing one, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did, just for the novelty of, being like, I'm going to be buried in hell.
Yeah, who doesn't want to, I don't know, be buried in hell. No, how did it get his name? Do you know?
I did read what it was, and now I can't remember the story. It's an interesting story, too. I know recently Hell, Michigan was for sale.
What?
Yeah, you could have bought it, and
wow.
Yeah, well, it's actually a really small area. It's really, really tall. Like I think that the one comment winner was saying about the tiny towns, it's just like a post office and a gas station. It's basically kind of like that, only with, I think there's a post office, but and then there's like a couple tourist shops and little restaurants. So it's really tiny.
Tourist shop there would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like you would want to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know, if I remember correctly, somebody bought it, and it was when there was some controversy over LGBT stuff.
Oh, okay.
So they named it I don't know if they officially renamed it, but they added gay hell to it because they bought it to piss off. Sorry for my language.
Oh,
to anger some people relating LGBT stuff, and
Oh. Wow, yeah. I was going to say, like, the Church of Satan, it would be a good thing for them to buy,
Yeah. But yeah, it's hell has definitely had an interesting history and everything. And if you're ever in Michigan around Ann Arbor, you are not far from it. So Google map it and go to it and be like, yeah, I'm sure that billboard is still there, and snap a picture. And if anybody tells you to go to hell, you can be like, I've already been there.
I totally want to go to hell. I mean, don't take that out of context. And Devin's here. Hi, Devin, for coming. Thanks for coming. Nice to see people. Yeah, very fun. Very fun. Good photo ops there. All right. Now, you have a photo of something spooky, interesting, anomalous photo. I'll just let you take it away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this one isn't in Michigan, though. My husband's family are from Mississippi, so every other year we try to go down. And this year, I want to say it was 2017, maybe, they took us to Vicksburg to the Civil War stuff.
That is great.
I like learning about history. And anyways, and so we're going around, and I'm just like, okay, we're in a Civil War area. It's like, there's gotta be ghosts here, if I've learned anything from watching all the ghost hunting shows.
Yeah.
So whenever I took a picture, I took 2 in a row. And so then when I got back and I got them up on my computer, I like uploaded it all, and I'm like zooming in and scanning, and I'm like looking for, it's like, I gotta catch something. I know it. And that was what I caught.
Yeah, I got another picture of it that kind of zoomed in a little more, because it's always hard. It's easier for me to see on my thing.
Yeah.
Here we go. Scott, I see the soldier. We didn't even say anything yet. Yeah, isn't that cool? I know. I love that. I wanted to go through my Vicksburg photos, and I think they're on a hard drive that's hard for me to get to, because if people haven't been to Vicksburg, it's really cool. There's this park you drive through, and as you're going, it'll tell you this is where this was, right?
Yeah, that was in that drive-through park.
It's really incredible. And around town, there's even like a B&B that has like a cannonball stuck in the wall still and things like that. I almost got to stay there, didn't get to, but yeah, check that out. So there's a little zoom in. So let's go back because when you go back, I love this. This is a really, oops, sorry, I'm clicking on the wrong thing.
Yeah, and it wasn't windy or anything, so it's not like trees or leaves were moving, and I knew to keep the camera as still as possible. So
no, it is a really good. I remember, yeah, and then you've got hello.
Yeah.
Do you think is that a Union or a Confederate? I'm not up well enough to know, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can see enough details of the hat, but yeah,
it's true.
Definitely something there.
I thought so. I thought that was really great. It makes me want to really go back through all my Vicksburg photos one of these days because it is interesting. I did recently go through some photos and discovered an orb that I'd missed coming back into a room. I'd seen it come out, but anyway, yeah. So there we go. Oh, and I am from Lansing, Michigan. I have been to hell.
Yeah.
Woo! Well, you got some of your people from your state there. Debbie up in Canada saying, "Great catch, Patricia." I know, isn't that great? I love it. It was very, very cool. I was looking to see. There's a guy who sometimes comes here who takes a lot of photos in cemeteries, but I don't see him. Who would love this picture? Maybe he'll come and catch the replay. Oh, there's actually a couple people who aren't here today. Well, you never know. Some people can't always make it. All right. Oh yeah, this is a place that when I come to Michigan, I really want to go here. Can you tell us a little bit?
Yes, the mystery spot. Yeah, it's funny because the other week you had the guy on talking about the vortexes, and he's like, "Yeah, up in Michigan," and I'm just kind of like, "Hold up a second, that's a tourist trap." Yeah, it's like I have literally driven by this my entire life. I've been there a bunch of times. Like I had no idea that it's like this weird paranormal thing. It's just a tourist trap in Michigan.
Yeah, you just think, I know when you live there, oh yeah, who goes? Only the tourists go there. But yeah, the mystery spot. I didn't realize there were so many until, if anyone's curious who I'm talking about, his name's Dan Shaw, the vortex guy. And he's, been on Travel Channel, History Channel, all this stuff, getting interviewed about it. And he went to all these different mystery spots throughout America. Like there's 10 at least that are open to the public. And yeah, I'm so intrigued by them. There's one in Texas. I have not been to it.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was Ghost Adventures. They went to one of these vortex places, and then that was another thing like that clued me into like the mystery spot is it's not just a tourist attraction. I was like, holy crap, this is
it shifted it like, hey,
this is an interesting phenomenon that happens all over.
Yeah, the one in Montana apparently coincides with a lot of Bigfoot sightings. And I don't know is there like a Bigfoot in your area?
Actually, not that I'm aware. There is the Dog Man of Michigan, but he seems to be mostly in the Lower Peninsula.
Oh, okay.
So around the Wexford area is where he was mostly sighted.
Ah, all right. That'll freak me out to see a dog man.
Yeah.
I have a video on the mystery spot. Oh, cool. I'd like to see that. I'll have to check it out. We'll have to share the link if you want, Traveling Buddy. That would be, I'll go watch it later when I'm not talking. Here's just one picture I found on Flickr of the mystery spot near you.
Yep, I recognize that. Yeah, the main memory I have from my visits to the mystery spot is that slanted room, because they did this thing where they balanced a chair on the edges, and then there was this chair that when you sat in it, you couldn't get up out of.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. And my cousin actually has this interesting video of another cousin doing it. And the thing about that is the cousin can't get out of the chair. He's like this big, muscly, he can lift 500 pounds. And
he's like perfect.
Yeah, he's like stuck in this chair.
Oh, wow.
And then the other memory I have of it is the one they have you stand on two platforms with somebody else, and in one you're taller than the one person, and then if you switch, they become taller than you.
Yeah, Dan Shaw had a lot of pictures like that. I've never been to one of these mystery spots. Totally want to go. My parents, we used to drive by the Oregon mystery spot all the time, and I'd be like, "Can't we stop? Can't we stop?" They're like, "It's a tourist trap. We won't." But wanna go. Let's see, traveling buddy. There was a sighting of Bigfoot in Michigan recently. Wow.
Where about?
Yeah, tell us more, traveling buddy. Don't just tease us like that. We want to know more. And plop your link to your video about the mystery spot into the comments. I think that would be great. I will definitely go watch that later on. So, well, one of these days I'm going to visit that mystery spot.
Yes. See, even if they are a bit tourist trappy, they are interesting phenomenon, and they're very cool to go through and see it, because it's like, why do these exist?
And I do, even if it were just total malarkey, at this point they've been around so long that sort of those retro attractions that are tourist traps are kind of fun now, if they're still kind of retro and not all slick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this one looks really interesting to me. I would like to go.
Well, that's why you got to come up to Michigan to see me.
Many
places to take you.
I know. I really will. Hopefully we'll be able to hit the road and up that direction. I would love to. We'll stop by Kentucky, visit Dave Kravitz on the way. Yeah. They just keep going and see you.
Yeah.
Okay, here is another interesting thing. Tell us about this.
Oh, the Paulding Light. Okay, that's at the other end of Michigan, so I haven't been there. Like I said, I'm right here. This one's all the way over in this area, so I haven't gotten a chance to go to it. But it's one of those weird light phenomenons where you go at a certain time and lights show up in there, and there's all this debate about, well, is it just car lights or is it something else? And then like the legend behind this one, the main one, is it's a railroad brakeman's ghost who died trying to stop trains from colliding.
Oh, okay.
And I got notes too.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So who stopped?
She does her homework, people.
Stopped an oncoming train from colliding with cars that were stopped on the track.
Oh.
And in 2010, students from MI Tech came and they officially claimed they debunked it. But then there was a paranormal show. I want to say Fact or Fiction. I can't remember the names. They actually came up to here and they tried a whole bunch of stuff, but nothing. Like, they tried the same stuff the MI Tech students did, and it didn't recreate for them. So it was just,
okay.
At least if I'm remembering correctly.
No, I'm curious. Yeah, and how long has this been around? Has it? Do you know? Or
the first report was in the 1960s.
Oh, so it was a later one. It's not like some light phenomena that have been, the Native Americans were commenting on it before the Europeans.
Yeah, well, at least according to what I found, is the first reports were in 1960s.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sure maybe they did see it before, then they just never thought it was worth mentioning.
Yeah.
It was a tourist trap to them, I guess.
Oh, Scott says it was on Fact or Fake.
Okay, yes, that is the show.
Oh, thanks, Scott.
That's a good show to watch. I enjoyed that.
Oh, nice. I think the little Casper, the friendly ghost guy there, is so cute.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I think is interesting about this, here's a picture of where it supposedly shows up during the day, obviously. But this is like, look how bright that is. That's not, but it just, my impression from what I looked at is it just sort of stays in one spot. Am I right? Or
yeah, I don't think it really moves. So that kind of, it's like, if it was a car, wouldn't it go about? It's more like they come and then they flare and then they disappear.
Yeah, interesting.
And the thing is, it's like there's so many reports of this sort of phenomenon happening all over too. It's like it can't all just be cars.
Yeah, especially, so that brings me to, I thought, since you mentioned the Paulding Light, I thought I would share on our recent road trip. Larry and I went down to Marfa, Texas. And they have an official viewing station. I don't know what they have at the Paulding Light, but they have an actual pretty spiffy little viewing station. I didn't go inside the building because, as you can see, we got there like just as the sun was setting. It was really, really pretty.
I I know the Paulding light, it's just kind of, you park on the side of the road
Oh.
and you look down this way. So yeah, there's nothing really, there's just that sign for it, and otherwise you could easily miss it.
Oh, okay, so they haven't gotten as, like, official as Marfa's like, "Whoop, we are
Yeah.
embracing" in Marfa, they even I should have put this photo in there, they even have a big banner across the main street. It says, "Marfa Lights Festival" and
Oh,
stuff, so
nice.
they yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So the Marfa Lights, they have a little plaque there, pretty nice little plaque, and they mention that it's been seen for hundreds of years, so the big, debunkers, they just say that, "Oh, people are seeing car lights in the distance," because it's very flat there. But or swamp gas. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
swamps. I don't really know what swamp gas. I'd be happy to see swamp gas. That sounds kind of exciting to me, whatever that is. But it says the Apache Indians believed these eerie lights to be stars dropping to the earth. I thought that was kind of neat.
Oh,
So
that is
they
neat.
were seeing it too. It's not like it only happened once there were cars.
Yeah.
But what I thought was so funny, so we were there a couple weeks ago, and probably about 20 people as sunset came, about 20 people showed up in different groups. Everyone's sort of social distancing. And here's Larry. Now we on our way there, Larry's like, let's get some ice cream before we go. So there's not a lot of options. You're in the middle of nowhere. So we stopped by Dairy Queen. And there was quite a line. Well, several of the people in the line at Dairy Queen also were going. At least more than half the people sitting there watching the Marfa lights all were eating Dairy Queen ice cream. So I'm thinking Dairy Queen really is missing an opportunity here.
Yeah.
Just a marketing opportunity, but it really seemed to be the thing. They pair well together because you're sitting there. What are you going to do? You might as well eat some ice cream while you wait for the hot. It was like, it'd been a hot 100-degree day as it's slowly cooling down. Your ice cream's melting all over. You got to eat it before the ants attack you. So yeah. So then here's what it looks like where you look out from the viewing area. Sorry. And you can see, there's some telephone poles and not
is
a
it
lot.
changed? Is the slideshow changing for everybody in the chat? It froze on me.
Oh no, it did?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't see the here, let me go back. Well, that's weird.
It's not
Here's layer, and then now can you see it's not switching up for you?
No, it's not switching up for me. I don't know. So I just
maybe,
wanted to
maybe
make
you
sure
can
it was.
maybe you should refresh your screen.
I don't know what'll that do.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Darn it, but I want you to be able to see stuff.
Here, let me look at something.
Well, if you have to come back in again, I'll make sure it lets you back in. Oh, I think Debbie is sharing in the link. Is that the link to Traveling Buddies Michigan Vortex? That's my guess. I hope so, because I really want to see it. Oh, it's okay here? Okay, so
it just must be in the one. Yeah, because if I go on YouTube and look at our live stream, it's going, so it must just be
all right. Yeah.
Something on mine.
Well, I mean, I had a show a while ago where I talked for a good 20 minutes before it turned out that it just hadn't, when I hit go live, it hadn't gone live. Oops. So my poor guest had to sit there and listen to me say everything over again for the first 20 minutes. It's like, sorry, dude, you're going to have to, and I'm feeling really redundant. Ugh. So yeah, sometimes one of my nicknames is Glitchy Woman. So, yeah. So anyway, this is what it looked like from the viewing area. So you can see it's very flat. There's not a lot to see. There's just some poles in the distance. So here's what we saw. And so I kind of think we were seeing them, but we didn't realize we were. Okay, so that this red thing comes on. And the guy at the visitor center told me to look for that first. He said, that's a radio tower. And so you're going to see this red light there. Sure enough, that's the first thing we saw. We sat there and didn't see anything for a while. But then we started seeing these yellow lights, and they would kind of come down and then just go at an angle and then go across. And there'd be like groups of them. And I was watching those and I thought, well, there must be a mountain over there. And those lights are coming down the mountain. But look, once again, mountain, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Once again, it looks very bare. So I wish I had taken more. I just kind of took one just half-heartedly because I thought I should. But now I'm thinking that we actually were, because we were seeing lights that were kind of going down like this and then moving. what got me about them was I kind of thought they were going to be bigger looking. So yeah, I just didn't know. It was my first time ever there. I was excited. At least we saw something. We had some ice cream. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody here has ever seen any mystery lights, but if you have, let us know. And before we go on, I want Patty to tell us about, we're doing a giveaway again, like we did kind of like last week. And so tell us what you're giving, what they can win.
I am going to be, one of the things I like to write is short fiction, like 100, 200 word stories. And so I have.
She does so great. I have to interrupt. I love your flash fiction. It is great.
Thanks. So I compiled them into books based on themes, and I have two. One, A Quick Bite, which is vampire, zombie, and werewolf themed, and then A Quick Spell, which is fantasy themed. And I'm going to give away a copy of each to one person.
Yes. And so if we have people listening overseas, this can happen via ebook, of course, so no worries.
Yeah, so it doesn't get lost in the mail.
Yes. So all you have to do in order to enter to win is leave a comment on this video if you would like to win. So just leave a comment, and I will do like I did this week where I announce the winner next week. And speaking of all the things that Patty writes, let's have her tell us about some of her books now.
Oh no.
Yes, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yeah. It was honestly easier talking about the animal hats than it is the books.
Oh my goodness. Well, her animal hats are awesome, but we'll talk about those a little more. But yeah, she writes, well, I just have them in order, not any particular order. I'm just bringing them up.
Okay.
So here's a couple of seriously science fiction. I'll let her tell you guys about it.
Yep. I mostly just dabble in sci-fi a little bit. It's not like you're not really in outer space much or anything like that. It's just like there might be aliens might show up, or aliens might have done something to the main characters, or there might be zombies. Like The Cure, that's my latest one. I set that. It's zombie apocalypse set here in Sault Ste. Marie because I walk around town and I'm just kind of looking, I'm like, this would be a very good spot that is kind of a last stand against the zombies, because downtown there's a man-made canal that runs through. And so it's kind of like its own little island that has a lot of essentials that you would need. Like there's a hospital there, grocery store, stuff like that. So it'd really be, and that just kind of clicked, and I ended up with this story about a woman who knows there's a cure for zombieism, and she's got to train a zombie to get it.
And I just got to interrupt here real quick. I just love that here you live in this beautiful waterfront town, and you're walking around thinking, this would be great for a zombie stronghold.
Yeah. And then the other one is basically the two main characters, they get abducted by aliens, and basically the cliche, they're abducted and experimented on, and then they end up back on Earth, and they basically have to pick up the pieces of their lives when they've had this horrible life-changing event happen to them.
But they handle it differently, and your book really had me. I like how your books, I can't guess what's coming, and I'm pretty good at guessing what's coming. I think a lot of writers are. It's sort of a hazard. You watch a movie or read a book with and you're a writer, you're always kind of bouncing ahead. And I like that you managed to surprise me.
Nice.
Here we have someone, a traveling buddy, saying, if you ever get to Lansing, I will show you where the original cemetery was. I caught something there. Oh, well, all right. That sounds interesting. Like, is it cool. I want to go. Sounds awesome. Yeah. He's talking about your books. You got to check out her books. Her books are good. All right. Another one. Let's hear about, you told us a little bit about these, but tell us again.
Oh, yeah. Those are my shorter fiction works. Like I said, I've already talked about the Quick Bite and the Quick Spell. And Influence is it's 3 short stories about, how we have the little mythology of the angels and the devil who sit on your shoulder and whisper in your ear. Well, I thought, it's like, well, what if there was more to their purpose than just whispering in your ear? And so I ended up with 3 short stories, delving into these little angels and devils and them trying to find their way in life and their meaning behind their life outside of just whispering in a mortal person's ear.
I think that is such a fun idea. I really like that. I do think about the little angel and devil. I guess I got from cartoons, but it's a good visualization for those kind of moral dilemmas we have.
Yep.
And you have urban fantasy. See, she writes a lot, people. She's prolific.
Yeah. Yeah. So these ones are my urban fantasy, and like they're all a little bit different, although Mistakes of the Past and Path of Angels both have angels in them, but in different ways, because my muse does not write in series. It's just like, oh, what if we take this mythology and do this? And then I write it and I finish, and it's like, okay, well, what if we do this instead of this mythology? So I'll have like 5 different vampire stories, none of them connected, all of them like just taking the myth and twisting it just a little bit to give it, something like maybe a fresh take or something, think of it a different way.
Yeah, I like that about how you really kind of have that O. Henry twist and different stuff. And here we have Debbie saying, I guess she's commenting on the short fiction. Love short fiction. They're great when you have to wait somewhere. I was going to say, because you can, on the ebook, I have the Kindle Reader for free on my iPhone. And so like if I'm stuck in the doctor's office, especially these days, a lot of places don't even have magazines anymore. It's great. You could read some of her short fiction that she writes, and it really helps pass the time in a very entertaining way.
Yeah, and I also like the short reading it myself, because then I don't end up staying awake until like 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and like, oh, I gotta finish this story. It's like, well, I can finish it in like some of it like in an hour or two, or like in with my quick series, they're 200 words, so it's just like if you got 10 minutes, you can read a handful of little quick satisfying stories, but then you don't have to worry about getting completely sucked into a longer piece and being like, oh crap, I just missed my doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
Which I have done.
Oh, true story then, huh? That's cute. Yeah, and one thing I like is people might think, oh, how much can you really enjoy a 200-word story? But some of them leave you thinking about the characters. A lot of them I find myself wishing, like, I hope she develops this into more. I want to know what happened next. Like, you really leave me wondering, like, oh, these poor, this interesting character. What happened?
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot of fun. Now you also write young adult.
Yep. Yeah, that's actually what I started as, was writing in young adult, because Being Human was my very first book. Like, I had written a couple of stories before that, but one, they were utterly horrible. You will never see them.
I have those too.
Yeah. And then I started on this one, and then as I was writing it, I was just kind of like, this is, really, I'm really finding this interesting in myself. It's like the way I took the vampires and I was like, this is different. I was like, I bet people might enjoy reading that themselves too. So I kind of started looking into publishing and, cleaning it up, editing it, trying to remove as many typos as possible. But I can tell you 10 years later, if I have still found typos.
Oh, well, it's your first one, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, and then after that, it was just kind of like the snowball going down a hill that just kept gaining momentum and everything, and that just more and more stories came. It's like, well, it's kind of like knitting in a way. It's like you buy one ball of yarn, and then you buy another, and then you buy another. And with writing, it's the same. You get one idea and you write it down.
Yes.
And then you get another and another. And it's just like, once the gates are open, it's like you kind of can't stop. And it's really, it's so enjoyable.
For me. Mm-hmm. And you do a little research on one thing, and then that spins off, and something else catches your eye, and it's like, mm-hmm.
Yep.
We know. Debbie here is commenting. I think she's talking about the short fiction, and that is harder to write than a longer story, I would think. I don't know. I think, well, how do they compare?
It can be definitely harder, because especially if you're giving yourself a word limit, because it's like you only have so many words, so you got to figure out which words are most important to tell this story, to tell the plot. You don't really worry about, oh, what does this character look like? What's their hair? You just kind of say, this woman did this is more important than saying a brown-haired woman with bright blue eyes did this. It's like, because it's like those little details in longer fiction are important, but when you're doing short fiction, you just kind of want something punchy.
Mm-hmm. It seems like it's good writing those shorter pieces is like doing, some sort of athletic workout, like,
yes.
building, like, lifting weights to the equivalent for a writer, because it helps you really consider your word choices. I actually think Twitter is good that way as well. I mean, for me, I've noticed since I joining Twitter like 13 years ago or something, it was only 140 characters, as you know, back in the day.
Yep.
The old people, we remember when Twitter was only 140. It was uphill both
day.
ways. Yeah. And but it really made me drop a lot of qualifiers, made me realize how many qualifiers I put on things like, in my opinion, or perhaps, and you don't have room for that. You just have to say, this is my opinion. You don't even have to say that. You just have to put it out there. And it helped me clean up a lot of, made me aware of a lot of filler phrases I just fall back on. And hopefully it's helped me, but Twitter can be interesting for that. Okay. So I'm babbling on. Now, tell us more. Tell us about Leaves of Fall.
Oh, that's, I love that one. That one was so fun. That was
I love that cover too.
Yeah, I made that cover myself too.
Oh, people, she has graphic knowledge as well.
A little bit. Like my dabbling in sci-fi writing, I also dabble in graphic design a little bit.
He's humble.
Yeah, that one is a post-apocalyptic fantasy. And I don't remember what sparked the story idea, but the idea was man and nature, specifically trees, have started a war with each other, and they've destroyed the planet. And now we pick up 30 years after, and Armory, the main character, is living in the remains of New York City, and then she gets kidnapped and taken away from her family, and the being that comes to her rescue is the thing she's been taught to fear and hate, a tree. And the trees have this ability to shape shift into people, so they can kind of blend in and try to infiltrate and stuff like that. But this one's he's pretty much kind of left the war, and he's trying to do right by the wrongs he has done, amend it so his conscience is clear and he's not weighed down by guilt. And he's hoping that maybe by helping this young human girl, he can show that man and nature can once again live together.
Yeah, very fun. So, and I do have links to all of Patty's books in the description box below. So if you want to check out her books, they are available, and you're going to want to read them. So, all right. Well, tell us about Snapshots now too.
Okay, that's one of my sci-fi dabbling. And when I was writing it, that was actually my second one. And I didn't really know what genre it is as I was writing it. This is just a fun, interesting story that got sparked off by like a character in a dream, which isn't even in the book. Like, I just had this dream about this really pale guy, and he like had all these tattoos and piercings, and he met this girl, and she was just kind of like, what is his story? And I woke up with that kind of, what is his story? And so I started writing it, and then the character is really pale and everything, but he has no piercings and no tattoos. So that got thrown out the window. But it's just like, but he has like these super power abilities. He's like really strong and fast. And he also has one brown eye and one really pale blue eye, which makes him look really weird too. So he kind of hides one eye so people don't stare, because I guess they stare less when he's got one eye covered as opposed to both of them. And, he meets this girl, and, she's trying to figure out himself, and, why does he have these abilities? And then in his past, like he has this man that pretty much owned him that he escaped from too. And then like, so his past comes up, but it's not the man. I feel like I'm babbling on this.
No, that's fine. I'm enjoying it.
Anyways, the son of the man that owned him finds him and basically enslaves him again and takes him back, and he finds there are others like him, and he's like, this is messed up. We have to escape. And so then, it's like trying to escape and, break this control this person has over him and be free in his own person. And then then at some point it gets a little sci-fi and everything, but I can't really go into why because that's a spoiler.
Yeah, you don't want to give any spoilers here. No, It's a very intricate plot. So I don't want to give any spoilers.
That story, I can say there's a scene in it that it made me cry when I wrote it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is something. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, well, let's see here. People. Oh, I should tell. Okay. I want to remind everybody to take a moment. If you've stuck around this long, then hopefully you like what you're seeing. So please hit the like button. And if you would like to be a chance to win our giveaway this week, then make sure you leave a comment on this video as well. And we are approaching the top of the hour, which means I want to remind you guys that since time flies, if you have questions for Patty, now is the time. I'll give you some time to type them up. I know that there's a little lag as this goes out, so I have to be patient and wait for you guys to type. And while I do so, I do want to remind you that I am releasing a new photo essay each week at my Patreon. There's a link below. It's my road trip postcards about all the interesting places and a little more of the history behind them and more photos than I shared online. And I just want to, before we go, I want Patty to tell us what she's working on next, and I'm waiting to see if you guys have any questions for her. But what can we expect? And Debbie is saying, those all sound like very awesome books. Yeah, she is a prolific writer. She has so many ideas. I really love what she comes up with.
Thank you, Debbie.
Check it over. You will enjoy her books.
I have too many ideas.
I know I think that's, we can relate.
Yeah. The next thing I'm working on is it's a fantasy mermaid story. Well, actually, what I'm hoping will actually be a series.
Oh, yeah.
Like I got 2 of the stories written, and then I have vague ideas for 2 more. And it's
in the covers. They look great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's going to be the Cursed Water series. And the first one is called Deep Curse. And it's where a marine biologist discovers a mermaid living in the deep, dark ocean and learns that she is there because she has been cursed for pretty much being a cruel person. And so together they work to try to break her curse so she can be human again.
Oh.
And he would especially like that because he's totally got the hots for her.
Oh, these mermaids. Uh-oh. I just saw something. I think that go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with falling in love with a mermaid. But that series I am actually planning on like serialization of a novel is kind of like the new big hip thing. Right? So I am going to attempt to release it chapter by chapter in my newsletter. Mm-hmm. And along with the actual story, I've done artwork and I'm going to have flash fiction, and I'm actually going to try a little where I live stream writing 100-word travel, and the people who attend the live stream, they get to input on where I take that little story.
Oh.
So I plan to have it's like DVD extra bonus features to go along with the story.
Yeah, I like that idea. I'm digging around on my desktop because I want to, you mentioned your mermaid thing. I am going to show you a mermaid photo I've been meaning to show you forever. I'll just put it in my keynote here. And yeah, I'm kind of, it does seem like serialization is in the air. I think that's a big reason, I got inspired by you basically to do release 1 chapter a week of my road trip book. I thought, well, because the whole Kindle Vella thing, they don't let you, it's not really, you can't really put pictures in it. And I'm like, mine's so photo heavy. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, the thing is, like serialization it's been around for like a long time. Like, I think it's The Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh yeah,
was released as a serial in newspapers.
Oh,
So
newspaper serialization was a big thing.
yeah,
Like Charles Dickens, he was paid by the word. So a
yeah.
little incentive is a little the opposite effect of Twitter. I've been wanting to share this photo with you for a while. Okay, this is from St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, and it is a copy of the original Little Mermaid from Hans
Oh,
Christian Andersen, right?
nice.
But look at her anatomy. Here, I'm just going to make it bigger because she you were saying how your main character had the hots. Without being too graphic, I'm going to say her mermaid part does not stop. Does not really start until she has got like little flipper feet, but it looks as though she could perhaps have relations, to use an archaic word, with a human if she so desired. So I'm like, I saw this and I'm like, wow, I'm kind of seeing the Little Mermaid in a whole new light now. I never knew that. Maybe and what's the deal with that? Go ahead.
People have been falling in love with mermaids for a long time and been like, yeah, I want to get with that. So they're exactly. So now they're like, okay, we got to make it so it works.
I know. I guess Hans Christian Andersen, he's like, oh, what do you mean? Well, then Disney came along and like they don't even show their belly button. I don't think, because oh, heaven forbid.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on the Little Mermaid and this version. This is the original one that Hans Christian Andersen is writing about, not the one that Disney has showed us. Oh, yeah. Shocker. Disney is not,
Yeah, the original was much more tragic. Yeah. Well, I think all those Disney movies, like, I remember reading about Pinocchio. Pinocchio was apparently much more dark.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I when my stepdaughter was little, she had this really great book. It was but it was more archaic. It had wonderful illustrations, but it was archaic versions of fairy tales. And some of them would like pretty much give you nightmares. I mean, they were like, then the old witch gouged her eyes out and put them on a stick and roasted them over the fire. And, you're like, what am I reading to my kid? But, times were different. Some of those folk tales were pretty rough and rugged.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, let's see here. Does anyone have any? Oh, here we have some questions. I've been babbling on about mermaids. Is there something that influences your ideas?
There's not any one thing. Like they come from all over. Like Being Human was influenced by. Actually, I think I got the book on my shelf still. I'm just not sure where it is.
Oh, here, I'll bring it up.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, Being Human was inspired by this. Frame here, Thirsty.
Oh, really?
Which is, of course, a vampire book, as you can tell by the fangs. Yeah. But the ending to this was very dark. It wasn't your usual happy-go-lucky ending like Twilight or other young adult books. And it just kind of like, I got to the end and I just kept thinking, well, what happens to this character after the story ends? And I just kept thinking about that and like got this image in my head of this young, newly turned vampire who has a identical twin brother, and they're trying to, be brothers and live, but the world knows vampires are real and they want to kill this vampire and they want to separate him from his brother. And so that's where that spun off into its own unique story. And like I said, snapshots, I had this dream of this young man covered in tattoos and piercings. Mistakes of the past was, what if the devil is seeking redemption?
Interesting
but then
idea.
like Tempting Friendship and Path of Angels. I can't remember what sparked those ideas.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
At a certain point, I like, the idea about ideas, that they're just there to spark something. Like, Picasso said, ideas are the cradle for the ship. And you look at a ship's cradle, that's, that just supports the ship when you make it, and then you just discard it. So like the idea, I think people sometimes get too attached to their ideas, or like if someone's just writing, they're like, oh, it seems like, have you noticed this? People who have just started writing, they'll be like, I'm afraid people are going to steal my ideas.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Let them steal your idea.
Yeah, it's like nothing is actually truly original.
Yeah, you steal it. You're going to write a different story than me anyway. And if people want to read that type of thing, people don't just read one vampire story. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, well, sorry, the vampire story's already been written, Patty.
Yeah.
You can't write that. I mean,
Yeah.
no, it's like whatever you write, people, it's okay. Oh,
Yeah, it's
I'm
like if I had just read one vampire book, it probably would have been in my teens, because I know I read a lot of, young adult, like Fear Street and stuff like that. I read a lot of those, and there was some that had vampires in it.
Yeah.
And like, so I would have stopped. If I only read one vampire book, I would have stopped reading vampire books in my teens, and I never would have picked up Thirsty and gotten the idea for Being Human. So
yeah, it's the same. And even with nonfiction, it's not like there's just one diet book.
yeah.
There's a gazillion. I don't think people need to freak out. So if anyone's watching, oh, here's someone, Debbie, saying, yeah, have you read Jack and the Beanstalk lately? Very dark. No, I haven't. I did see a remake of it on TV a little while ago. Yeah, anyway, I didn't realize it. I guess that is pretty dark.
I vaguely heard that Jack and the Beanstalk was pretty dark too. Yeah, I remember it was pretty recently. I learned about Pinocchio, and it's just like it is way dark,
off the chart. Well, Rapunzel. I think there's a scene that they don't have in the modern ones where she's like, the prince has been visiting her, and she's I guess she's preggers, but she's all like, why my clothes aren't fitting anymore as my belly expands. Well, like they cut that out of of the modern version because they do. All right. Well, unless there's any other questions, we've gone over just a little bit. I knew that time would fly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And people, she's eventually going to have a store so that you guys, these hats are great. It's so comfy.
I mean, you can contact me on Twitter or my Facebook and be like, hey, I need a hat.
If you guys
and I'll be like, great, you just gave me a reason to go buy more yarn.
They make great gifts. I've given a couple of them out and kept one for myself. So who knows, this year I might be getting some more from you.
At my Paracon, I had a lady buy 3 just for herself.
Oh, just for herself? Oh, I'm very much a hat person. Yeah, I'm going to buy, I'm always going to buy one for me. And then, if you're lucky, I'm going to buy one as a gift for other people. Yeah, check out her books, Scott. You will enjoy them. And everybody, make sure you check out Scott's channel. He just interviewed Andrea Perron. Everybody look around. We've got some people with some great channels. I hope that someone shared the link. I think I saw Debbie arranging it, the link to the mystery spot that we were talking about, because I want to see more about that. I think the Traveling Buddy shared it eventually.
Yeah, there was a link that popped up from
Debbie.
There was?
Okay. And then I just, make sure you go visit him down in Traveling Buddy down in Lansing. If you do, let me know. I'll be very jealous to see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to tell people before we let them go?
No, not really, because it's dinner time here, and I'm actually kind of getting a little hungry.
A little peckish. All right.
So the timing's perfect.
I will see you on Twitter later.
Yeah, definitely.
For our writing chat. We have a writing chat. And thanks to everyone who came today. You guys were really fun. And remember to leave a comment if you would like a chance to win. So
yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.